Thank you so much for joining me today. I thought I'd have to put a little intro about me in case you guys don't know who I am. And then you're like, who is this woman talking about fitness wearing a suit? Welcome, you guys. Just to let you know that my speech is going to be in English, but if you have any question in Arabic, you can ask. There's going to be a translator. I speak a little bit Arabic as well. فيعني أقدر أرد بس أنا أقع وايد. So, feel free to ask questions in Arabic. My name is Dina. I'm a health and fitness coach. And, let me go back. And obviously, I wasn't always so fit. And usually when people meet me, they're like, عشان شديد جسمك حلو. They say, oh yeah, that's why you're fit, because you're a fitness coach. And it wasn't always like that. I was actually, thin all my life, but then in 1 year, I didn't know really how to deal with stress. And I started going out more with my friends, eating out, not knowing what to do with my life really. And I found food as a way to comfort myself. And within just 1 year, I gained 35 kilos. And the crazy thing is that I didn't even realize it. I thought, I gained a little bit belly, but I didn't think it was that much in such a short period of time. Until I had this moment with my mother. I remember we were all at the beach with my family, and I'm wearing a bikini. I go inside the resort, and in the bathroom, they had mirrors from the ceiling to the floor, from every angle. And when you see your body from every angle in the mirrors, it's a completely different story. And I just looked at myself, and I was like, Mom, I'm fat. She's like, I know, I've been trying to tell you, I don't know how, And obviously in that moment, I wasn't really thinking about my health. I was concerned that, okay, I'm only 20 years old and my stomach is this big and I don't want to look like that. And then it hit me like everyone used to ask me, how many kids do you have? How old are you? You're only 20? I thought you were 30. And I was like, wow, all of a sudden it started hitting me. And I'm like, that's crazy that I didn't realize how I gained the weight. And now I try to evaluate everything that I went through within that time of my life because it was a long journey for me. It wasn't just about gaining weight and losing weight. Eventually, I started working out. I became a bit more confident, went to the gym. I started obsessing with cardio and obsessing with my body. And I was afraid to gain any weight. And every day I would look at my body in the mirror and I lost all the weight. But every day I would look at myself, I need to lose more of my stomach, my, cellulite. And every day I kept conditioning myself to not feel worthy, And even though people would be like, oh my God, you look amazing. I'm like, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, And we can never I wasn't accepting compliments and I wasn't complimenting myself. And it might sound like, okay, yeah, we all say negative things and we feel insecure sometimes. But when you do it every single day, we don't realize what we tell ourselves every day. And when we do it every single day, I was just conditioning myself to believe that I was not worthy and I was still overweight, even though I was so skinny. So eventually, I conditioned myself to believe I was overweight, and then I created an eating disorder. And it's called bulimia. And bulimia is where you eat your food and you throw up. And it's crazy because I never would have thought that I would be a person that would be like that. Me? No way. I was fit all my life. I'm strong. Me? Eating disorder? It was really hard to accept, and it was so difficult to get out of. And I see a lot of people nowadays that are struggling with different kinds of eating disorders. It doesn't necessarily have to be bulimia. It could just be undereating. Depriving yourself from food is also an eating disorder. And because I'm a health and fitness coach, these people are expressing themselves to me. And there are teenagers nowadays that are dealing with this because we're not aware of how social media is affecting everyone. Adults are being affected by social media and how they see all these women posting pictures in their bikinis and all that stuff, making women feel like they're not fit enough or beautiful enough. Imagine how teenagers are feeling. They're not expressing themselves because I don't want now this story to be about eating disorders, but it's also to be more aware of our children and our family, what they could be going through, how to connect with them, how to guide of what they're going through in their school. And I'm shocked And I'm like, I can't believe this is what they're going through in class. And these are what kids are talking about nowadays. Generation is completely different than when we were teenagers at school, you know? And kids are not like adults. Now we learn kind of a little bit how to open up and express ourselves. But kids don't know how to do that. You know, maybe they go to their friend or something, but they're not going to go to their parents to express their insecurities and how they feel about themselves. So I thought that, you know, it's really important to bring up. So I don't want this story to be about eating disorders. I want to break down my story on how I tried to evaluate why I became the way I did, how I overcame it, and how it can help you in your life. Because now I think, okay, eating disorder, now this is what the speech is going to be about. But I could break it down in ways where you can take that information and implement that information in your life, because I learned many things on why it affected me the way it did. And the first thing I want to talk about is positive energy balance. Because if we don't have the right energy, how are we going to be able to perform our everyday tasks and be able to have that clarity and that focus? You know, you see a lot of people nowadays, they cannot focus at work. They feel tired. They're like, I don't have the energy to go to the gym. I don't have the energy to now focus on a project on the side and stuff like that. And it's like, we need to evaluate, why is that? You know, sometimes people feel like they're not motivated, but actually they're not focusing on how to create that positive energy within themselves. Isn't this crazy? Stress is desserts backwards. And it is one of the easiest ways to deal with stress is to eat dessert. It's the easiest thing. But we don't know why. We just think it tastes good. Yeah, you feel happy. But the thing is, I want to break down, why do we feel the way we do scientifically? What happens physiologically in our body that makes us feel like this? Because when we understand how the body works, we're then more motivated to actually follow through. But if we're just like, yeah, it just makes me happy, yeah, I just feel like this. Like, for an example, if you didn't know that squats, for an example, makes the booty nice and the legs nice, you probably wouldn't be motivated to do it. But now, because you know that going and training and lifting weights and exercising is going to give you the toned legs, so now you're more motivated because you understand that's the only way to do it, is because that's how you gain muscle and get toned. For an example, because people can relate to that, you know? So when we understand more about the foods that we eat and how they affect our mind, how they affect our energy and our body, then we're more motivated to actually start eating clean, you know? So now it might sound a little bit complicated. I will try my best to simplify it for you, because I believe that if you understand just a little bit, you don't need to understand 100% about nutrition. You just need to understand the 20% that's going to bring you the 80% result. Going to help you understand how to have the right positive energy throughout your day, how you're going to stop having cravings of sugar and junk food, and how you're going to be able to burn more fat, all within one thing that's called one hormone that's called insulin. Now, what are hormones? Hormones are these small particles that are released from all of the different organs in our body. They're basically like messengers. They go and they communicate with the different cells in our body to tell our body how to perform. When we're stressed, when we're tired, how we want to grow. All of these things are through our hormones, okay? This hormone has many different functions, but let's just focus on two main functions. It stores fat, and it balances our blood sugar levels, okay? Now, depending on the food that we eat, actually, let me explain this a little bit better. Now, when insulin is high, okay, it crashes. When it goes very fast up, it comes very fast down. Now, we have to pay attention to when it comes up and what causes it to come up. Because when it comes up, we're not in the fat burning zone. And when it's that high, it's going to give us crashes throughout the day, and it's going to make us hungrier. So we have to realize, okay, so what is causing this insulin to rise? What causes it is the type of foods that we eat. Now, every time that we eat food, insulin will go up, but it's not going to go as high. So when we eat bread, pasta, ice cream, these type of foods, insulin goes up really fast. And the faster it goes up, the faster it comes down. And when it comes down, what happens? We're tired. We don't have energy. We don't have the right focus. It makes us more blur. That's why when you have sugar in your coffee in the morning, you have your croissant, you have your biscuit, you feel good because it's that first spike of energy in the morning. But then after 2 hours, you feel tired, you need more sugar. It causes you to be in a cycle of your body constantly wanting more sugar. Because when it's down here, it doesn't want to be down here. When it gets that high up and comes here, it wants to go back up. Now, there are many other hormones that get affected and that make you become much more hungry, and I'll explain it later. But I just want you to have the overall general information that this is why the food is causing you to gain weight around your stomach, because when you have high insulin, that's when you carry fat around your stomach. So that's why when the doctors see people with a stomach, they say, you can have a chance of developing diabetes. When you think of insulin, you think of diabetes. They have to inject it, okay? When you eat foods like lean proteins, for an example, it will spike insulin, but not that much. The foods that make insulin very neutral and it stabilizes your energy levels is fats, healthy fats. Okay, forget it. But healthy fats like avocado, salmon, these are the type of foods, nuts, olive oil, coconut oil. These are the ones that are going to stabilize your sugar levels. And the more you eat healthy fats and you decrease your carbohydrates, you'll sustain more energy throughout the day, and your body will start to burn your own fat for energy. I'll get into that in the next one. Now, that's one hormone. We have ghrelin. If you think of ghrelin, you think of the Ghrelin, this guy that's so monster, that's hungry, you know? So this is the one that tells your body, I'm hungry. Leptin is the one that tells your body, I'm full. And neuropeptide Y is when you start to eat very little, your body starts to want junk food. Now, you don't need to know all these hormones, and I don't want you to think now this is going to be like some nutritional workshop. I just want you to have an understanding that there are these messengers that are going around in our body, and when we eat less and we eat these type of foods, they make us feel tired, gain weight, not have clarity, not have focus. And the thing is, nowadays, we have false advertisement. We have foods in boxes like this that say non-GMO, sugar-free, fat-free, all that stuff, organic. And it's making us think that this is a healthier option, when actually it's not. A lot of people get fooled because they don't pay attention to the ingredients in the back. They just pay attention to what they see in the front. Oh, non-GMO, that sounds like it's healthy. Oh, non-sugar-free, that sounds like it's healthy. But they fool you because they put ingredients in there that do the same exact thing, but you don't know what those ingredients mean. And I just want you to be aware of what you put inside of your body, because we got to pay attention to what we're putting inside, because this is what's making us feel the way that we do. Okay? So the most two important things that we have to focus on in order to have that right energy is the type of food we eat and when we eat. So there's something that's called intermittent fasting, and I'm going to explain it to you very short. It's basically like when we fast in Ramadan, yeah? But this type of fasting, you're allowed to drink water, you're allowed to drink coffee, and drink tea. Now, the reason for fasting and why we do it is to bring insulin low. Why is that? Intermittent fasting means that you're basically eating within an 8-hour window. So you're fasting for 14 hours, okay? And you might think, now I have to fast to have the right energy, but you could be fasting when you're sleeping. So what do? You have your last meal at 7 o'clock, and then when you wake up, you just don't have breakfast. And you skip breakfast as long as you can, maybe, just the 14, 16 hours, and then you eat. And you might think, skip breakfast? But I thought breakfast was the most important meal of the day. If you think about it, back in the caveman days, were we eating breakfast? Did we wake up and have a refrigerator in front of us and eat cereal and all these foods? No. The man used to go out for hunting for hours before he would come and bring food. So we would naturally actually always be in a fasting state. Now, you don't have to do this every day, but if you really want to have that clarity, burn fat, and feel good and not have cravings, this is an excellent way to do it. And you don't have to do it every single day. You do it twice a week, 3 times a week. You can do it as intervals. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. It's not like an everyday lifestyle. But because insulin is always going to be low because you're fasting, you're limiting the amount of meals that you have throughout the day. So what do? No snacks. Because if you have 3 meals with 2 snacks, insulin going up, down, up, down, up, down. So you're constantly having the crashes and your body is not in the fat burning state because you're always giving your body energy. When is it going to go to your own fat for energy? So then your body always wants sugar. It's constantly needing sugar. And this is what interrupts our routine because you could be sitting on the computer working or making a phone call and now you're like, oh man, I'm hungry. I want something. I want a biscuit. I want a Snickers. I want something. So it's actually interrupting our thought patterns. So to be able to actually fast and not have these interruptions will help us to be able to have more time to focus on the things that are much more important. So it's about having less frequent meals throughout the day. Women fast for 16 hours and men fast for 16 hours. I don't suggest this for people that have eating disorders because it can cause some triggers, okay? Now, some people, they say, yeah, but if I don't eat, I don't have energy. If I go that long without food, I feel down. The reason for that is because of the food that they ate the day before. If you're not having enough food or you're having junk food that's causing these crashes, then the next day you're not going to feel good because insulin was so high the day before. You wake up, you're hungry and starving for sugar. You understand me? I hope I'm not confusing anyone. Feel free to ask questions as I go. But because this is really important to understand to have that right positive energy balance, you know what I mean? And this is like the easiest way of doing it. Less meals throughout the day, not less food. Just less meals, that's it. So if you're gonna have 2 meals a day, it's not about, oh, I have to eat less. No, your meals are bigger, but they're just less throughout the day. You got me? Yeah? Cool? All right. So we have proteins, fats, and carbs as different type of foods that we eat. Now, we have complex carbs and simple carbs, just to understand, because people think carbs is a bad thing, okay? But carbs is what gives our body energy. But, like what I said about insulin, when we have the right carbs, insulin is stabilized. When we have fast carbs like cereal, bread, potato, cookies, fruit juice, all of these things, boom, boom. When we have sweet potato, broccoli, berries, these type of things, insulin is more stabilized. So when you remember, that's why we have to eat those foods, not just because they're healthy, because that's what they do to our body. Fats, healthy fats like I mentioned before. What do fats do? They balance our hormones. This fats is what makes us happy. They get our happy hormones up, our serotonin, our dopamine, our endorphins. These are happy hormones. The same thing that we get from dark chocolate and junk food, we can also get from healthy fats. So we have to reprogram our body to get this type of happy hormone release from the healthier options. So what do you want to do? You would want to eat fats throughout the day and then limit your carb intake and not have so much carbs. And this will sustain the energy throughout the day and help your body to utilize your own fat for energy because you're giving it fat, so it starts releasing the fat. You got me? So I just want to show some swaps because it's not easy to go from eating ice cream and potato and croissant and all that stuff to now eating healthy all of a sudden. And you don't want to make drastic changes. You want to be able to slowly, gradually get into this lifestyle because then you can easily feel overwhelmed. You're like, this is too much for me. Now I have to fast. Now I have to do this and I have to work out. Too many things at once. I don't even want to know where to start to do anything. But we can do healthier choices like ice cream. Because I have a sweet tooth. What do? I freeze my berries and then I blend it into a sorbet. And then slowly, of course, when you start to get off junk food, your taste buds start to change and everything starts to taste much better. So you can do that, You can add honey, you know what I mean? In the beginning, especially in the beginning, it's not about depriving yourself completely. It's about making healthier options and having that balance. Of course, if someone wants a 6-pack and they're about to go on stage, their diet is going to be completely different than a normal person that just wants to be overall healthy and fit, But yeah, you also just want to make sure that you moderate your sugar because fruits are still sugar. The body doesn't know the difference between ice cream and sorbet. It doesn't know the difference. It just knows that it's sugar. It takes it in and it turns it into sugar. So that's why we have to be aware. Of course, fruits have minerals and vitamins for our body, but it's also still sugar. And I always suggest that you eat the fruit instead of juicing it. But a healthy option, at least, is to make a sorbet, instead of eating ice cream. It's still healthier, So you have here, instead of that dark chocolate, I used to hate dark chocolate. Now I love it. In the beginning, I'm like, ooh, this is so bitter. And now I love it, And then you start to respect your body more. And you're like, well, Leanne, I want to take care of myself, man. I don't want to do this. I've been eating junk for too long. I want to feel good because I got goals. I want to do something with my life. I don't want to be mediocre and just settle, you know what I mean, and let food control my life and my energy levels. I want to be the best I can be. And we can do that if we focus on the things that we put in our body, we focus in the environment that we sit in, and we focus on ourselves. But if we just let things go every day, did this, that, it becomes a habit, and then it becomes so hard to break. Oh yeah, hold on. Actually, that was a good one. Mayonnaise. You could do avocado. Instead of fries, fried, you can bake sweet potato fries, and it's so good. It's amazing. I don't know if you guys tried it, but baking sweet potato fries, all right? Mindful eating. Mindful eating is what helped me get through my eating disorders because I was always acting in such a compulsive behavior on my impulses. Just, I just want to eat. I'm so stressed out, and just eating fast. But when you really start to eat slow and pay attention to the food, and you put the food in your mouth, and you pay attention, and you look at the fruit, and you're thank God for this food, Well, I'm being honest, I swear. It sounds weird, you know what I mean? But honestly, this is what got me through it when I started to appreciate food more. In the beginning, of course, I'm like, oh man, this is so difficult. But then slowly I started to be like, you know what? This is feeding my soul. Always remember, when you eat food, it's either feeding a disease or killing a disease. It's not just about energy and not just about, burning fat and stuff, because we're not thinking about the future in 20, 30 years. I want to know how my health is going to be when I'm 50, when I'm 60. How is my life going to be then? And if I focus on my life right now in every area, how am I going to be in 1 year? If I make changes today, every day, in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, how am I going to be? You saw my picture when I was 20 years old. I didn't look 20, I looked 10 years older than my age. And I was acting 10 years older than my age. I'm 34 right now, and I'm much more energized and confident than I've ever been in my entire life, just by switching my life to a healthier lifestyle, Okay. Now, when it comes to working out, a lot of us, we pay attention. Oh, yeah, I want to lose my stomach. I want nice legs, nice biceps, But actually, what we don't pay attention to is how it affects our posture. Now, if you think about it, someone who is sad, they usually sit like this. Their arms are crossed, their shoulders. You might be cold. Actually, when I'm bloated, I sit like that because I'm like, oh, I feel so full. So I kind of press it in. But let's say she's sad and not bloated. You see how her body language is? When someone is happy and proud and confident, they stand tall, right? Their arms are opened. When someone is insecure and shy and in their head, they're closed in. Now, when we don't work out, what happens? We can create posture deviation. When the shoulders lean forward, our lower back becomes really weak. And that's why you see older people, they walk like this. And then they pick something up from the ground. Oh, something I pulled in my back, right? Yeah, because they're not working out the lower back. And we sit nowadays a lot on the chair. We're sitting at work. We're sitting when we're at home. Look, she sat up. She's like, I'm not sitting like that. Yeah, we get too comfortable and we don't realize how many hours throughout the day that we're sitting and how it's affecting this lower area. And that's why you see many people, what they get injured, their lower back. Now, the point of bringing this up is that every emotion, every body posture and body language that we do affects our hormones. So even if I'm not happy and I smile and I stand like this, I'm actually releasing happy hormones. And when I sit like this, even if I'm not sad, even if I'm a normal person, but I sit like this, I'm actually releasing stress hormones. My cortisol hormones, which are stress hormones, rise. And that's why when you sit in a posture like this, you start to form negative thought patterns. You start to think in a negative way. Oh man, it's boring. I'm tired. What am I gonna do? Oh, can't wait for the work to be done. You start to think like that. Immediately when you stand like this, automatically you're releasing those happy hormones. So automatically your brain starts to think in happy moments, happy thoughts. So that's why it's important to be like, you know what? Yes, fitness gets you fit, makes you feel good, gets you energized, but it also affects the way you stand and the way you feel about yourself. Huh? Oh. So negative self-talk. This is what destroyed me in the past, because we do these things every day without realizing. Even recently I was doing it. Even I used to say, I'm not a good speaker. I'm not good at speaking. I'm not good at explaining and formulating topics and all that. Luckily for my husband, he's like, you're doing it right now. You know? Oh my God, wow. And thank God for him, because we're all about motivation and, empowering each other and stuff. So we point things out. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. It wasn't just back then. We constantly do these things. We constantly create limiting beliefs. And the crazy thing is, what you tell yourself is exactly what you're going to become. If I tell myself every day, I'm not a good speaker, I'm not good at formulating words, what is going to motivate me to become a good speaker? It's not. It's going to make me feel like I'm not good enough. So this is everything, anything that we want to do in life. We have to be aware of every single thing that we tell ourselves, because when I looked in the mirror and all I was saying was my stomach, my legs, my this, my that, what did that happen? It conditioned me and my behaviors changed. I created an eating disorder. I became obsessed. So it's not just about the things that we're telling ourselves in that moment. It's what we're turning ourselves into for the future. We are one judgment away from changing our lives. We all can go through the same exact event, but we perceive it completely different. Say, for an example, we're 5 girls right now, and we all go play basketball for the first time. For the first time, okay? رح نلعب كرة أول مرة كلنا. One girl can be like, man, I hate basketball. This is boring, putting the hoop from this side to this side. I don't like this sport. One girl can say, man, you know what? I'm not good at this sport, but I don't like that I'm not good. I want to be good. I want to practice. I want to actually master this sport. One girl can say, you know what? I didn't enjoy playing this sport, but I really enjoyed being outdoors and doing something, an activity outside and moving my body, because I'm usually working out at the gym, so it's different for me. So actually, I want to find something that I enjoy that's similar to this basketball. So you see, we all did the same thing, but we all had a different judgment on it. And that's what we have to pay attention to, is how we're judging situations, how we're judging ourselves, because this is what changes everything. Because we're always judging other people, we're always judging situations, but it's not based on the truth. It's based on our own reality. So we have to change our reality, and every time we judge someone or we judge a situation, to stop and think, where's that judgment coming from? Why am I judging it the way I'm judging it? Can I judge it any better to change my reality? So there's something. So we have a nervous system, okay? And we have 2 parts of the nervous system. One that's called parasympathetic nervous system, and another one that's called sympathetic nervous system. Now, I don't want to get too scientific with you guys, but this is really kind of cool for you to understand. Now, just to make it very simple and easy, the parasympathetic nervous system is what helps your body to be relaxed, to recover. And your sympathetic nervous system is what helps your body to be able to deal with stressful situations. Say, for an example, back in the day, when men used to go hunting, if they see a lion, the sympathetic nervous system is going to tell them to either run for your life or fight the lion, okay? But nowadays, we're not facing lions. What are we facing? Bills. Oh man, is the check going to bounce? Oh, I got a deadline for this project. Oh my God, there's so much traffic in this where I'm driving. We're constantly engaging in stressful situations. Our life has become like emergencies throughout the day. And the thing is, stress is a good thing so that we can actually be able to deal with, dangerous situations. But when we're constantly stressed, we're constantly activating this nervous system, and we're not letting our body actually heal and recover. And that's why people say, that's why you hear stress is the biggest disease of all. Because if you're constantly stressed, how is your body going to recover and heal? But the important thing about this, okay, I'll get to that. The important thing about this stress is that what happens when you're constantly stressed out? When you're constantly stressed, you cannot really think logically. You know, your rational mind is disengaged. We start to see life through fear and danger, because when we're stressed, what happens? Our brain magnifies danger. Our brain looks for the enemy, because that's what it does to help us deal with the situation. But if we're constantly stressed through projects and family and relationships, what are we doing? We're reacting on our impulse, and we're not thinking logically with our rational mind, and not thinking with love. We're thinking danger, fear. And this actually can stop us from going and achieving our goals, from being able to sit down and speak calmly with our partner, to be able to, just deal with everyday life. Because if we're constantly stressed out, we cannot be calm. We're just reactive mode. Don't talk to me right now. Oh, yeah, you don't listen to me. I'm stressed out. So we need to be able to calm that sympathetic nervous system so we can actually start thinking logically with our minds. So we cannot really change what's around us, but we can change ourselves. And we usually never want to focus on ourselves. We usually want to blame others for everything. Oh, my partner, he's like this. Oh, my job is so bad. My manager, I hate him. Oh, the people that I work with are annoying. But why don't we try to internalize things and say, you know what? What can I do to myself? How can I change myself to make my situation better, instead of blaming other people? When we take responsibility for our own actions and change ourselves is when we can truly make our life better. Now, this is a fancy word. I sound smart when I say this word. I like it. It's called the reticular activating system. All right. So basically what this means, it's a filter. Okay, it's a filter in our brain. We need a filter. Why? Because every day we're receiving sensory messages. Too much. I'm seeing all these chairs, colors, people are talking, people are walking in, the lights, the cameraman. There's too many things. Our brain cannot focus on everything and take all that load. So what does it do? It filters out, and it only focuses on the things that are important for us. Say, for an example, you drive in your neighborhood every single day, right? But if I ask you right now, what are all the color of the houses in your neighborhood? How do the gates look like? You're going to be like, I don't know. Why? Because your reticular activating system, it filters it out, because it's not important to you. Unless you were an architect, then you'd start paying attention, but it's not important to you. So what is important to us, our brain starts to focus on. And that's why goals work. Because when you have a goal and you write it down and you focus on your goal, your brain will start to filter things out and start to find those things related to your goal so that you can fulfill that goal and make it a reality. That's why people do visualization, and they put vision board of the pictures and the things that they want to achieve in life, and they visualize it. Because your brain, you'll have it in your subconscious mind. We just to simplify it, in our minds we have our subconscious mind and our conscious mind. Our conscious mind is basically what we interpret through situations, how we evaluate things through the experiences that we go through. And our subconscious mind stores all of our habits, all of our beliefs. But you know what? We actually live through our subconscious mind. 95% of the actions that we do are from our subconscious. So if we don't believe in ourselves, and we're constantly talking negative, and we're not focusing on our goals, and we're creating negative habits, our subconscious mind is leading the way through those. So when you don't believe in yourself and you're not fulfilling a goal, you know why? Because your subconscious, it knows that you don't believe in yourself. It knows that you have these negative habits. You're not going to fulfill the goal. So that's why it's important that we pay attention to every single thing that we're thinking, that we're saying out loud, that we're feeling, to evaluate those emotions and to understand, where are they coming from? Why am I creating this limiting belief? Why am I feeling this way? We have to ask ourselves these questions. And this is honestly what changed my life, is asking questions. The quality of your questions is the quality of your life. Because the thing is, when anything goes wrong sometimes, we're just like, oh man, I have this problem. We always just want to express the situation that we're in. We're never really sitting down and thinking, okay, how can we solve this? And ask ourselves logic questions, okay? And this is what we want to do, is to be able to start thinking in solutions. Because when you're stressed out, you're not really thinking. You're just reacting on your impulse. How are you going to be able to think logically if that sympathetic nervous system is activated? You know, that rational mind is not engaged. So that's why we need to learn how to calm that nervous system down so that we can think, so that we can be able to ask ourselves these questions. And you know what? I put the sticky notes right in front of my computer on my wall where I work because I forget it. I forget to ask these questions. And every day we're going to deal with situations in our life. Why this? Why that? Okay, no. Sit down and let's ask, what will happen if I don't change anything? If you are eating junk food or whatever that you're dealing with, if you don't change that right now, what will happen in your life in 1 year? Whatever situation you're in. What happened? So I like to replay situations that I went through. So I sit down and I reevaluate what happened in that day and try to understand exactly what happened, where it came from, when it started, why it happened, think of solutions. What is the one thing I can do right now that can make the biggest impact? We're always thinking about the end goal, but the end goal is so big sometimes, it feels like you're not going to be able to achieve it. One day I will make 1 million dirham. One day, I know for a fact. No, we need to think, what can I do right now that's easy for me, that I can implement, that's going to make the biggest impact in my life? There are many different questions that you can ask, but I'm just kind of giving you. So what I do is I put the what, why, how, and who. What can I do right now to change my life? Why is this happening to me? You know, how can I change it? Who can I talk to? Who can I learn from? You know, how could I have done it better? Who can I ask? We don't always have to reinvent everything. There's someone that already been there and done it, and that's a professional in that field. For an example, if you want to get fit, you don't have to know everything about fitness. You hire a fitness trainer, right? And they teach you and they guide you with everything. If it's marketing, if it's becoming a speaker, no matter who it is. You know, you can download audiobooks. My husband, he told me for 2 years, listen to audiobooks, listen to audiobooks. I'm like, shoo, listen to audiobooks now. I listened to audiobook for 5 minutes. I'm like, ugh, this guy's voice is annoying. I don't want to listen to him. But then actually, I'm like, wow, he actually made a very important thing. Wow, oh my God. And then I started taking notes. And then I became obsessed with learning. Because the more I started to learn, the more I was able to evaluate my actions, my thoughts, my life, how I can make it better. Why do I got to figure it out on my own? I don't need to study psychology, nor do you. But we can learn from other people that did, and that simplified it for us. And just by implementing these things of putting a couple of questions in front of you on your wall makes a huge difference. Because every day we're facing complications. Every day there's some problem that appears. But it's okay, because it's just making us, it's forcing us to think differently, that's all. A problem is actually good, because now we're thinking of different ways to solve it. We're thinking differently. So it's actually good. We're training ourselves to be able to solve things, you know? Now, I hear a lot of people tell me, but I don't have time. This is the number one thing, I don't have time. Obviously, if it's your priority, and if it's important to you, you'll make time. Because when you wanted those heels, you went to the mall and you went and got them. You know? When the guy wanted to pump some, bench presses, he made it to the gym. You know what I mean? So if it's important, we'll make time. But we don't have to think of it as something now that's gonna, oh my God, I got to invest hours out my day to achieve my goal. Let's just say you invested 20 minutes every day, just 20 minutes. Say you wanted to become a good speaker, and you said, you know what? I'm just going to invest 20 minutes a day to listen to this audiobook where they teach how to become a good speaker. I'm not going to invest 5 hours a day, just 20 minutes. 20 minutes a day, I'm going to work out. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm going to go home and I'm going to find a video on YouTube that shows a high-intensity 20-minute workout that I can do at home. anything, if you choose 3 things that are important to you, that you know that will change your life, and you invest only 20 minutes for each of those things, you've invested 72 hours in 3 months. You know how much you can change in 3 months? You know how much I freaking changed in 3 months from doing that? It changed everything. I'm standing here today making this speech. Before, I'm not a good speaker. I'm not good at formulating. I'm shy to talk in front of people. When the camera's in front of me, I don't know how to act. But I'm here right now speaking. How? No, not because I'm good at it naturally, because I practiced it, because I learned, because I practiced how to formulate topics. I practiced how to break things down. But I didn't have to invest my entire day, you know? And a lot of the times we're like, yeah, I'm sick of my job, but I don't have time to just do something else. 20 minutes a day, you know? I train people all day long, and I'm like, oh, it's exhausting. If I train people for the rest of my life, this is going to be tiring. Now I invest 20 minutes a day in my projects on the side that will help me move forward in my life. And it's really hard for us to make changes if we're not in the right environment. For an example, let's say you want to be a speaker. If you surround yourself with speakers or you watch other speakers, you start to gain more confidence. You're in that environment now. You're like, wow, you know what? I'm actually better than this person. I think I can do a good job. You know what I mean? Like, you're in that environment. When you hear successful people and you hear about their stories and the struggles that they went through and how they didn't have money in the beginning and how they did everything, you're like, wow. Because we judge people from far away. Like that picture you saw of me, when people see me now, yeah, anti-trainer, you're fitness, that's why you look like that. That's why you're fit. You're in the gym all day. No, I wasn't. And we judge people all the time based on the situation that they're in right now, their success that they're in right now. We have no idea what they went through. But when you put yourself in the environment and you surround yourself by people that you look up to and you start to listen to them and listen to their stories, you're like, wow, I can do that. It's not that hard, actually. Why am I making it believe like it's this goal that I cannot achieve? Self-awareness is the main thing that's going to make us be able to change anything in our lives. Because if we're just moving day to day and not realizing what we're saying, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, our actions, our behaviors, we'll never be able to change anything. So it's being able to be self-aware, because we do things fast. We're reacting fast. When we have an argument, we're reacting fast. When we're doing things, we're just, reacting on our impulse. We're never really like paying attention to what I just said. Now, because I've been more self-aware, I catch myself, and I'm like, oh, why did I just say that? Actually, let me calm more down. I was in reactive zone right now. I need to listen to what this person is actually telling me. Like with my husband. My husband is great at communicating. I sucked, okay? Like, I did not know how to communicate at all. My thing was running out that door, like, oh, whatever, And he was like, we have to sit down and talk like adults, But then when I became more self-aware, I started becoming more like an adult. Like, okay, let's sit down and let's actually talk about this. And this helped me to catch myself in many different situations. And it helps you to calm that nervous system down. But how do we do that? It's like, okay, yeah, self-awareness, but how? Meditation. Now, I know a lot of people think, you guys are laughing, I knew it. Because, meditation, people think, in the middle of the woods or something. It doesn't have to be like that. You can create your own meditation whatever way you want to. Of course, if you're going to be some guru, it's completely different. There are many different ways that you can meditate and get into different waves and frequencies and all that stuff. But that's not for you right now. For you right now is just learning how to calm down and be able to declutter the mind so that you can think. Because sometimes I'm just like, I have so much in my head. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. There's too much going on. How can I calm down? So I meditate in the morning. I don't meditate every day, honestly. But when I feel like I'm in this state, I meditate in the morning or in the afternoon when you feel like you're really frustrated. Okay, actually, let's meditate together. And I know what you guys are probably thinking. You're like, oh, now close my eyes. The camera's on me. Everyone's going to be looking at me. I don't want that. But there's different ways that we can meditate, okay? So there's different kinds, but I'm just going to bring up 2 that I do. So there's self-awareness meditation, and it helps you to be more aware of your thoughts and kind of catch your thoughts and understand where they're coming from. And then self-love meditation. I love self-love meditation. And some of you guys might be like, oh, whatever. But when we start to love ourselves and appreciate ourselves, we respect ourselves more. We actually want to take care of ourselves and do the right things that are going to help us move forward and feel better. So it's important for all of us to have self-love. When was the last time you ever gave yourself a compliment? We're always waiting for someone else to give us love. But why can't we give ourselves love? You know what I mean? We can do that every single day. And you know what? For Muslims out here, when we pray, you even realize sometimes you can pray fast, like Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, right? Sometimes we do that because we're so in reactive zone. The nervous system is so activated, we can't even calm down. So if you see yourself praying like that, that's one of the signs that you need to meditate, because you're doing it so fast. You're not even in the present moment, because self-awareness is being in the present moment, is being in the now, not thinking about the future, being anxious what's going to happen tomorrow, and not dwelling on the past. That's what self-awareness is all about, is being able to catch your moments now. When someone's talking to you, you're looking in the eye and you're listening to them and you're in the present. You're not thinking about, oh, okay, I have to go right now, I'm hungry right now. You know what I mean? And when you feel like, oh, I don't want to meditate right now, I cannot. Because when I first meditated, I remember I was in this class, this yoga class, and we were sitting on the floor, and my ankles were hurting. And I was like, oh my God, this is so annoying. And the lady's like, sit with your back straight. And I'm like, my back hurts right now, this is annoying. And she's like, focus on your breathing. And I'm like, and she's like, no, slower. And I'm like, this is too much controlling. Me, I want to go to the gym. I want to go do some jumping jacks and move around. This is not for me. You know what I mean? But it doesn't have to be like that, because meditation is actually about being comfortable, is letting go. You don't need to force yourself to do anything. It's actually being in a comfortable state. You can meditate when you're laying down. You can meditate, I meditate like this. This is exactly how I meditate, I swear. You can meditate like this. You can meditate however you want. I meditate like that. This is exactly what I do, okay? So, oops, the mic. So I'm going to do a little bit of self-awareness meditation. I suggest that people meditate for like 15 minutes, because it takes time for you to actually get in that zone. Because you cannot just sit there, because your mind is just going to be running around 2-3 minutes. It needs practice, really. And then right after you're done, you might get a little bit tired in the beginning, but you'll start to realize later, wow, I actually feel really calm. And then the thoughts start to be a bit more clear. It's like you cleaned your room. You know when you organize your room, everything in the drawers? Because even if you have a mess in the drawers, your mind is still cluttered. You know that there's a mess in there. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, it's in my subconscious bothering me. But when you clean everything, when you look, you're like, oh, the house is clean. I feel good. Same thing goes with meditation with your brain. You feel the same way. You're like, I feel good. My mind feels relaxed. And then you can start to actually think properly. So please, you guys, do it with me, okay? Yeah, we all close our eyes and I will guide you. We'll only do it for like a minute, and then we'll go into the self-love, because I want to do both. All right? So everyone, relax. Just relax. Don't worry about who's next to you. Actually, I'm sick. Hold on. I need to take it up my nose, Shui. So just close your eyes, because I know you don't want to. And I know you're probably thinking about the person sitting next to you if they're looking at you. But just relax. Forget everyone. And just pay attention to your thoughts. What are you thinking right now? Pay attention to your thoughts. Are you thinking in the future? Are you anxious about something to happen? Is there something that's bothering you and you keep thinking about it? Don't judge it. Just observe it. Let yourself go. Pay attention to your body. Are you relaxed? Are you tense? Are your eyebrows tense and lifting upward? Is your jaw biting? Just pay attention to your body language And now let your thoughts go and observe. Just breathe regularly. Try to calm that heart rate down and observe your thoughts. If you can think of one beautiful moment in your life and just focus on that beautiful moment, your mind will probably try to take you away to something maybe negative, maybe something unhappy, or maybe it won't. But try to train your brain to always bring it back to that happy moment. Just focus on that happy moment. Appreciate it. And feel it all in your heart. And now I want you to take all that energy from that happy moment. Focus on every part of your body. Because if you really focus, you can feel the energy. You can take that energy from your brain and take that energy from your heart, gather it all together. And now I want you to move that energy all the way to the bottom of your feet. Feel it moving. Feel it going to your tippy toes. I feel the energy now coming from my fingers, moving down my knees. It's now in my feet. Now I want you to focus on your feet. Yep, focus on your feet. And I want you to thank God that you are able to walk. Thank you, God, that I have legs to move, to walk. Move that energy up your legs. Move it to your stomach. Thank you for being healthy. Appreciate your health. Appreciate what God has given to you. Move the energy to your hands. Thank you, God, so much that I'm able to feel and touch, that I can move my hands. Bring that energy to your heart and tell yourself, I will always think with love. I will always react with love. I react with love. Let's talk in the present. I am love. And I will always share love, always want to share and think, not with anger, but with love. And move that all the way to your brain. And thank you, God, for my mental, emotional, and physical health. And promise that you will love yourself and take care of the temple that you are in. Thank you for everything. Open up your eyes. Doesn't the energy kind of feel good in your body? Kind of feel calm. Maybe it's a little weird, first time doing it here in public. I felt it because I do it, you know? But it's just putting that attention to appreciating your worth and appreciating your life. Because some people can look at your life and just be like, wow, I wish I have your life. I wish I have your health. I wish I have what you have. And we forget our blessings. Sometimes we pray fast, but we're not really praying. And when I pray, the great thing about praying 5 times a day is that after I'm done praying, you can visualize. So I like to do my visualizations after I'm done praying. So when I'm done praying, I speak to God. I speak out loud and I express what I want to achieve in life. I express my purpose. I express the person that I want to become. And because we do it 5 times a day, it's like we're constantly visualizing and conditioning ourselves. And the more we do it, the more we believe it, the more our subconscious will bring it to reality. All right? I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any questions, I will start taking questions now. But before I do, I want to let you know that I have a podcast. For those who don't know what a podcast is, it's basically like a radio show. and it's for free. And you can listen to it anytime you want. There are applications that you can download on an Apple device, Apple device or Samsung. But you can also just do it from your any phone through this website link at the top. You could take a picture of it and you can check from your computer. So I upload and I discuss different topics. And they're short, 5, 10, 15-minute topics. I simplify them about motivation, about fitness, about nutrition, and I kind of dive a little bit deeper into the topics so that you can understand. And the more that we can focus on learning and progressing, the more we can grow and actually feel motivated to do it. So that's what the podcast picture looks like, so you know. I also have a private Facebook group where I do live streams because I want to engage with people. I want people to ask me questions. Maybe they can share information and have that community where we can, engage and share knowledge with each other. So feel free to send me a request because it's a private group, and you can see all of the videos that I've uploaded in the past where I've did live streams. And it's called Transform Your Body, Transform Your Life. It's the same name as my podcast, if you want to take a picture of it. And then that's my website and my email, just in case if you guys have any questions. I know a lot of people, they say they want to get fit and they don't know how. I'm launching maybe in the next 2 weeks. I have an app. It's already open, but I'm just uploading all of the videos. So I do online coaching programs, customized programs, where I share many videos about, meditation, visualization, nutrition. It's not just a fitness program. And I track my clients on the app. So if you feel like you need guidance and you need support, I'm making that available because I have a lot of people that ask me, and I don't want to just hand people a workout program. I really want people to learn. I want people to transform. I want people to be able to sustain the lifestyle. That's why I sit here and I try to discuss these topics, because if you don't learn them, you'll never be able to sustain it. You'll never know, why should I eat this and why should I do it the way I should. But when you just learn a little bit, then khalas, for the rest of your life. So feel free to send me a message. I actually check everyone's message. I take my time because this is my life. This is what I focus on. I focus on sharing everything that I learn with people. So I take my time every day to replying to everyone's comments and messages. So feel free to ask me whatever you want. All right, so I'm going to start now taking some questions. If anyone has any questions. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me just fix this. Is there a mic that goes around if anyone wants to ask questions? Yeah? Thank you. And this is our translator, yeah? Thank you. So does anyone have any questions? Please. Thank you. What's your name?
Alexandra.
Alexandra, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes.
I wanted to ask about if you have a condition called gastritis, for example.
A condition called what?
Gastritis. It's a
Gastro, yes.
Gastro, yeah. So you said that you should eat 3 meals a day and make them larger.
Yep.
But if you have this condition, you need to eat more than 3 meals a day.
And why is that?
Because it's the way the gastroenterologist.
And why did he explain it like that?
He did not explain
He didn't explain it? I would ask the doctor, because everyone's body type is different. So if you're having a situation like that, it's important to understand exactly how your particular body works, because not one size fits all. Everyone's body is different, so maybe the doctor is telling you for a different reason. But when we limit the amount of meals that we eat throughout the day, subhanAllah, that's why we have Ramadan. You know why? Because when we fast, we're actually letting our digestive system and our organs relax. Because when we're always eating, our body is constantly working. It's constantly trying to digest food. So we're not allowing our organs to properly detox and do its job. So this is why one of the main reasons why we fast is so that our body can detoxify. So in my opinion, this is actually a way for your body to actually detoxify, but I don't know if he gave it to you for different reasons. So you should ask your doctor, exactly why are you telling me to eat more meals throughout the day? Is it for my specific body type? Exactly what?
He said small amounts of meals.
So because of the digestive system, because it's too much at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
You make your stomach work more, actually, because you intake more.
Yeah. I'm not a pro when it comes to gastro. So I wouldn't be able to give you the best advice. So if you're having a problem with digesting food and stuff and you want to slowly put it into your body so your body can perform better, then yeah. But everyone is different, because sometimes when you do go out meals throughout the day, then actually your body can start to digest food because of the digestive system is healing itself. The gut starts to heal itself when you're not feeding it all the time, you know? So it's different. It's like you got to try and see what really works for you. If you eat a lot of food and you're a normal person that actually is on a high caloric meal, then maybe, yeah, eating 2-3 meals a day is not the best thing because your meals are so big. But if you're someone who doesn't really eat that much, and if you did combine 3 meals, it's not going to make a huge difference, you know? So yeah, I think ask your doctor, yeah? Thank you. Anyone else? Anybody? Here you go. What's your name?
My name is Tafla.
Tafla? No way, I've never heard of that. Doesn't that mean like little girl?
No, it means that's a beautiful lady.
Beautiful lady. Oh, so they tell the little girls beautiful ladies. That's so cute. Habibti, nice to meet you.
I have a question about your life, about your experience. You said you have obsessed of an exercising and eating disorder.
Yep.
How you solve this one?
I solved it through the things that I've shared with you. Maybe I didn't bring it all in and I was going through the topics, but that's the reason why I kind of broke down my story, because when I was starting to eat less, that's a very good question, because I actually wanted to explain that, and that was the whole point of my presentation, is that in the beginning, when I was talking negative to myself, what did I do? I started to eat less, okay? And I started to deprive myself from food. What I didn't know is that when you eat less, you're creating an imbalance with your hormones. And one of those hormones is called neuropeptide Y. I know it's a long name. Just think of NPY, okay? This hormone, what happened is that it creates you to crave junk food. It wants your body to want more sugar and more carbs when you eat less. So that's why when you eat less, you're like, oh my God, I want to eat sugar. I want to eat a donut. I want to eat croissant. This is why this happens. But at the time, I didn't know that. So when I kept depriving myself more, I wanted to eat more. Okay, now how did I solve the thing? It was many different stages that I went through. In the beginning, I was distracting myself because I had an impulse where I would just react, you know, immediately. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go eat. And I wouldn't want to sit down and actually calm down. So I said, you know what? I need to teach myself how to calm down first. So I promised myself to distract myself for 3 minutes in the beginning without reacting. That didn't work for a long time, but it helped me in the beginning. Then I started asking myself questions because it got to a really bad point, really bad. I was sick looking until someone looked at me and said, Dina, you look sick. That made me like, whoa, if I don't change my life right now, well, how's my life gonna be? So I started asking myself the questions. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why do I keep acting like this? And I started asking myself questions, why? And I was like, so I started playing back what happened 30 minutes before, what happened a couple of hours before, what happened a day before, to understand where are these emotions coming from. Then I realized it's stress. When I get pissed off, I didn't know how to express myself. I would keep it inside my heart, and I didn't know how to open up. And that was a big problem for me. I internalized everything that I went through. So then I was like, I do it every time someone upsets me and I can't express my emotions. So then I started focusing on being able to open up more. And that's what really helped me. But the meditation is what helped me. But back then I didn't know what meditation meant. You know, now because I'm studying about, self-help and stuff, I start reading, I'm like, oh wow, that's what I was doing. Oh wow. So the more I'm learning, the more I'm starting to understand where they're coming from. Maybe it's not from stress. Maybe it came from a condition when I was a kid. Because when we're kids, what do we tell our kids? If you're a good boy, I'll give you the ice cream. Finish your homework, you get that dessert. So we're conditioning our children to think that dessert is a reward, that food is a reward. And now they're combining it with the emotion, the pleasing emotion, the satisfaction emotion combined with the reward. So now as they got older, they feel like I deserve it. I need to eat ice cream. Oh, I'm pissed off. I had a bad day. I'm going to go eat ice cream. And this is where it comes from sometimes. So I don't know exactly where the eating disorder came from, but from my knowledge, I played it back and I'm like, it's from me not opening up. So back then, before I used to go to the grocery store, I would sit in the car and I'd be like, and I would calm down and I would focus on my breathing. And I would do that for like 10, 15 minutes. And the breathing really is what calmed my nervous system down. And that's why I brought up the nervous system, because when the nervous system down, what happens? We can think with our rational mind. Because if my nervous system's not down, then I'm just reacting on impulse. And that's why I brought these topics up. Because if we eat junk food or we don't eat enough, we want junk food. So we're reacting, you know, the body's reacting to the sugar. So that's why I brought it up. The nervous system, if we don't bring it down, we're reacting on our impulse. We cannot think with our rational mind. That's why I brought it up. And the self-awareness and the questions that you ask yourself. You have to know, why is this happening to me? When did it start? You know, what can I do in my life that can make changes today? Thank you guys for coming. You know, and it's asking yourself these questions and really trying to evaluate everything. It's not going to be over one night. But any situation that you're facing, you ask yourself these questions and really trying to replay where all these emotions are coming from. This is what helped me.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That was a long one. I kind of went through everything. I talked too much. Anyone else have any questions? لا ما عندك شيء تستحي? Yeah? You have any questions? Thank you for coming. Thank you. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. You do? Yeah? Oh, okay, great. Thank you. I know you guys want to go. You can walk out. It's not disrespectful.
I want to ask you about keto diet.
Yes, the ketogenic diet. A ketogenic diet is a high-fat diet. Is there a particular question that you want to ask?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it? I don't recommend this diet because there is a lot of fruits not allowed.
Not a lot of fruits allowed.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to continue. Okay. You know, when it comes to diets, now there's an important thing to understand that all of our bodies are different and we have to see what works for us. And the only way to do that is through experience and not through other people's experience because their bodies are different. Now, when it comes to diets, it doesn't have to be, if you want to experiment something, it doesn't have to be a complete lifestyle. Like I do put some of my clients on ketogenic diets because if they're insulin resistance, if they're dealing with very high insulin and their insulin is not functioning properly anymore, a high-fat diet helps to bring that insulin down and balance those hormones. But they don't have to do it forever. They can do phases. So they do a phase of 2-3 months of a ketogenic diet. Then they break it slowly. They have their fruits and stuff. If they need to go back on it, they do. But then once the hormones become imbalanced and they reach their goal, they come back to a normal, balanced lifestyle, you know? But you can still have a couple of berries and stuff like that. I know the ketogenic diet is difficult because it's like I love fruits. And I did do the ketogenic diet, and I love it because I mentioned high fats do help you to, you know, balance hormones and be happy and stuff. But if you want to do a high-fat diet, it doesn't have to be keto. You can do a low-carb diet and just increase your fats. It doesn't necessarily, because ketogenic diet is now your body is using fat for energy. That's what a ketogenic diet is. You completely deplete all of the sugar in your body, and now you're running your fuel off of the fat that you have. And that's why you eat only fats, because if you eat sugar, you won't be on a ketogenic diet. You'll break it. Just if you guys didn't know what a ketogenic diet is. So you cut out all carbs, everything, and then your body needs energy. It's like, where's the carbs? I don't have sugar. What does it do? It goes to your fat. It forces your body to take it from a different source. So fat is your secondary source. So it helps you to have more energy, more clarity throughout the day. But yeah, it doesn't have to be something that you do forever, if you decide to do it, you know? But again, yeah. The thing is, with a ketogenic diet, everyone is different, and it might take 3, 4, 5 weeks to actually be on a ketogenic diet. Because if you've been eating sugar all your life, it will take a while to deplete all of that sugar out of your body. You know? So everyone is different. If you exercise, you're going to deplete the sugar more. So everyone is different. It might take a week, 2 weeks. So if it takes you 3, 4 weeks, and then you stop after a month and a half, you didn't really utilize it that much. Because what were you on it for 2 weeks that you actually did it? So I would highly recommend when you do a diet to at least do it for 3 months. because that's when you can really determine the effect of it and see how your body's reacting to it. Because your body, it needs time to be able to adjust to any diet, especially now when you're changing the complete energy source. Yeah? Any other questions? Thank you for shooting some Insta stories. Tag me. All right, you guys. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. You have a question? عادي. عادي. You do? Yeah. تقدر تسأل بالعربي if you want. There's a translator. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can.
زين السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
حاليا الحين واحد في الجيم إذا استمر على الرياضة وجهد عالي لمدة مثلا سنة بس عقبها وزن ثابت.
Okay.
هل يحتاج إنه يعلي الجهد يزيد الجهد ولا يوقف فترة وعقب يرد نفس الشيء؟
Okay, so is your question when a guy is working out for a year and then reaches a plateau? Is that the question he's asking? Well, you have to, yeah, because the body will always adapt. So whatever you do, that's why it's good to do diets on phases. Your workouts need to change. You need to shock the body because it's adapting now. Maybe, are you doing the same routine? Are you doing the same cardio all the time? Every day the same thing. So sometimes you don't want to necessarily increase too much stress because then the body adapts to too much stress. And then you always have to increase and increase and increase. So actually, what I like to do with, you take a break actually. So what I like to do with my clients, so how much cardio do you do?
I take break maybe 2 months now.
You took breaks 2 months. So say for an example, you want to start doing cardio. You're not going to go for 1 hour because you don't want to do drastic changes. First, your energy is going to be down. Your body's not going to recover. So you want to feel good, right? So you do everything slowly, 20 minutes. Then after a week, you do 30 minutes. Then another week, you do 40 minutes. Then you stick to 40 minutes for like a month. And then you come back. But yeah. So you always want to change it. Say, for an example, you're training. Maybe you need to switch it up a bit. Do high-intensity interval training. Maybe you're doing the regular squat, bench press, bicep curl, right? How are you training?
Boxing, running, like this. Normal.
No. So you're doing a lot of cardio? أنت ما قاعد تشيل وزن؟ لا، هذا لازم تشيل وزن عشان تطلع عضلات. لأن عضلات
أبغى أنشف.
حتى لو انت لما تطلع عضلات شو تحرق energy زيادة throughout the day. So when you have more muscle, you actually burn much more fat when you're relaxing. That's why you see people with a six-pack, they eat burger, ice cream, and عادي, nothing happens. You know why? Because of the muscle that they have. Now, you don't have to think as muscle as bodybuilding. Because a lot of people, that's what they think. They're like, oh, if I lift muscles now, I'm going to be bodybuilding. No, that's not now. These people that are very big, it's because they're injecting something and they're putting something inside their bodies, external drugs, that are making them big like that. But if you diet and you do cardio and you lift weights, you're not going to get bulky. Boxing is a great form of cardio. It's moving, it's activating the muscles, definitely. But when you're putting resistance training and you're focusing on each muscle separately, it's completely different. Then you're really focusing on activating every muscle in your body. And this will help your body to actually increase the muscle mass. When you increase muscle mass, you burn more. تحرق زيادة. Always remember that. أهم شيء الأكل. إذا أنت قاعد تاكل ومش على diet and you're not eating clean and you're lifting weights, yeah, you'll get bigger because you're feeding the muscle, you're adding fat on top, you'll get bigger. But if you're eating clean and you're not eating so much and you're burning more energy than what you're eating, you're not going to get big. You're going to be like lean. So I say switch up your routine. And I promise you, yeah, I have a lot of videos on YouTube. So many videos on YouTube. You can go look at the routines and just copy the routine. You know? Dina's TV, you can type in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that answered enough. Anyone else have any questions? No? Good? You need time? What's the question? What do you need time for? Tell me. You need time to lose? Why do you feel like you need time?
Because
the foods that you're eating, they're not clean? Sometimes. It's okay.
We have to live in the island with
It's okay. It's just in the beginning when the body's not used to it. Then your taste buds start to change. See, our taste buds, when you eat artificial foods that are in these boxes, they are damaging our taste buds. Now when we eat an apple, it's not sweet. We eat a fruit, we can't even appreciate it anymore. We're like, shuhad, I want dessert. You know what I mean? Because we're damaging the taste buds. So we need time, 7 days with no junk food, no sugar, your taste buds start to change. 30 days, completely. You'd eat the fruit, you're like, oh, wow, all of a sudden it tastes so good. You know, and also eating out. Just to let you guys know that when you eat out, they have something in the food that they put that's called MSG. MSG makes that insulin go up that I talked about. That's why sometimes you see people, they eat in restaurants, they can't lose weight. They're like, why I cannot lose weight? I eat healthy in the restaurant. Sometimes it's because these good restaurants, they're putting MSG in it because it makes the food taste better. But this blocks you from burning fat. And it changes your taste buds. So I just thought I'd bring that up. Sorry. Yeah. Timing is done, man. I gotta go. They're gonna kick me out. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.